Storytime podcast. I'm your homegirl, Ronnika, and I'm here with.
I am Jeffrey. Best I had, coming in hot after a couple weeks off, around, we done had a little Memorial time, little holiday specials, so, it is what it is.
Just saying, we're going into a new month, and it's one of my favorite months because it's Black Music Month.
Let's go.
But we are also trying out a new platform, so bear with us as we figure some things out, but it's going to be a whole lot of fun. But this particular episode, we are talking about, and I'm sure that so many of you all can relate. Tell me you're black without telling me you're black. What you got
Well,
to say? I already see that face. What you got to say?
well, before we jump into it, it's funny how we came up, like with the subject matter or whatever, because, we are coming into cookout season,
Yeah.
and, certain people, you got new people that's coming into the family that's coming for the first time,
Yes.
or you that new person that's going to the new cookout for the first time. So we're just trying to see, do you know, what's the protocol, to keep you in step.
So there was and I'm gonna tell this story because it's a good story.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
And so many of my family can identify with this is that when you go to, because we just diving right in because it's been a minute, we've been off. um when you go to anybody's cookout or even a repast, you are scanning that food to see what you're actually going to eat and not going to eat. We've talked about, I know I've shared with Jeffrey about fune rice. That's the whole thing. That's a whole southern thing.
Not that funeral right.
That fune rice is gonna keep coming around, keep coming around. But this one particular story I can tell, and Jeffrey knows this person very well. We were at my Aunt Ernestine's repast, which was at the Bobo Brazil Center right before you get downtown Ben Harbor.
In Michigan. Yeah.
In Ben Harbor, Michigan. So this was 2008. Yeah, 2008. Plenty of family there. It actually happened to be like a clear day, like it wasn't snowy or anything in February or February, March. And unlike it is now, because today was 50 something in Michigan in May.
50 degrees.
But I digress. I don't even want that's why I got on the sweater.
Wow. Well.
Ridic. So my grandmother had she had two restaurants, but she was really well known for Tammy's Restaurants, which was downtown Ben Harbor. She was a really good cook. And so she cooked all of the repast food. Well, we know that especially with black families, people are always bringing you food during that time of planning, when they're just like, the first thing they think of is like, the folks got to eat. They're going to be taking in company. They're going to be entertaining guests. People are going to want to eat.
Well, a lot of times, just from a historical perspective, people didn't have money. The best you can
There
do.
we go. There we go. It's like, I'm going to go to my land. I'm going to pick what I got, and I'm going to make a meal with that. Something. You ain't going to nobody's house empty-handed. And that's something that my grandmother also passed down to me was, whenever you go over somebody's house, you take something, paper products, something. You ask, what do they need? Are you bringing by a drink? You bring something. So we're at the repast, and it's my sister, myself, my mom is, I think, sitting across from us in the table, and my brother and my sister-in-law walk up, and I think that was around the time when my dad had probably went home and changed, and she comes back to the table, and she puts her plate down, and we look at it, and we look at her, and she said, "What?" My brother grabs the plate. He said, "Babe, I'll go make your plate." I said, "Well, nothing on that plate for my grandma. Nothing." Nothing. I said, "How long you been around us? You couldn't identify Betty Jean's mac and cheese, her dressing. You couldn't identify none of that. Because that's another thing. You can identify it with just sight,
Well,
not even smell.
you had been there on a Sunday so many times and had, you knew the smell, you knew the taste,
Something. You knew the pan. You knew something. Because it's like that one pan. It's like, oh yeah, it has enough season, kind of like your cast iron. It's got enough seasoning. That's the pan that you go to when you finna just burn.
I remember old school. They used to tape their name on their pan. Come on now, don't forget about that.
Tape the name on the pan and their chairs.
Come on now, yeah.
Like let's keep it all the way funky. So my brother made her plate. He brought it back. She said, "Oh my God, I got nothing of your girl. Nothing, girl. I don't know whose food you was about to eat, but it wasn't Betty Jean." And I found myself for the last 6 years, because it'll be 6 years this summer, we've been doing these community grief dinners or grief brunches around the community just to talk about grief. And I remember we have a local Black-owned restaurant that comes in and caters. And it was one particular event. That food came in there, and I looked at it and I said, they didn't change cooks.
Not they didn't change cooks.
And they like, nah. I'm finna taste this lemon cake. I'm finna taste this mac and cheese. I'm finna taste this. It's not gonna taste like what we've had before.
Mm-mm.
Of course, the participants that are there are just like, oh my, I'm so grateful for this food. And I'm over here like this. We pay for the other cook. We didn't pay for this one.
Mm-mm.
So I don't know if that's just like universal or just because I come from a family that, or especially my grandmother and all of them that burn. And if you know what burn mean, like they can really cook.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But no, I don't think so. I think you're right on. Look, actually, I have this thing. It's not a family thing, but it's my personal thing. I don't like ordering, going out to eat and ordering with a lot of black people, like at all. It's too many adjustments and too many this and too many. Nah, I'll have I'll have a drink and that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like I may even be hungry. I may have to go across the street and get something before. But if it's more than like 4, no, it's too many corrections, and then the person that take an order, they gonna be corrected, and it's a whole thing. So, and them people back there is the ones that's making the food.
Listen,
Nah.
listen here.
Yeah.
I just realized that like maybe a month ago, I was like, maybe I should just stick to just. But even when it comes to like fundraisers, I know with fundraisers when you're going to these different restaurants, they don't count the alcohol or your drinks as a part of the fundraiser.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm over here like, I don't need whoever's in the kitchen spitting in my food because everybody else at the table is being real nasty.
Yeah. They have an attitude problem, or they came in with an attitude, or they had a bad day. Look, look for an event such as what you're mentioning, like a fundraiser. I'll just pay that little entry fee and then just greet myself on out and then leave early. Give you an opportunity to leave early, So. Nah, I'm good. Nah. It's like a big thing, I just went for a graduation, and boy, when we went out to eat, you were like, man, here we go. Because, it was like 15, 16 of us. So my anxiety was through the roof. You hear me? Like, I was and then you got kids there. And the crazy part about it, we kind of went to a similar restaurant, actually the same restaurant last year. And they messed up last year. So I was thinking, like, if you messed up last year, you already know what you didn't sign yourself up for.
Mm-hmm.
But I just told them, this is my remedy. I went in, I said, I'm going to have a drink. They told you want any entree? Yep, to go.
Yeah.
I won't mind. When it's time to go, it's time to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
I need to speak to the manager, or I ordered this entree 30 minutes ago and now
That
no.
manager watched him take my order. That manager watched her get my order. And that manager made sure it was piping hot wrong.
Yes.
Piping hot wrong. So, hey, it's okay. You know what I
I'm gonna go to the bar. Y'all good over here? Okay, I'm gonna go to the bar.
mean? I definitely don't have to be on the group bill.
I don't. I don't. I don't. I'm glad. I just thought about this a month ago. I was like,
No, like,
how can I avoid situations like this?
yeah. Exit
Yeah.
strategy.
Yeah.
Man, I gonna tell your dog all of a sudden. Look, I heard the bundle of joy.
You heard it. The build up. I'm like,
Yeah.
who's out there?
Was that Earth the Kit? I was just saying.
The brewing of the bark. It's
Yeah.
coming. It's coming. Yes. Yes, it's coming. Okay. So
Yes.
we have to pick.
Yes.
We're in our story time switch up segment, and you also have to provide a relatable Black family story or something, a viral moment or anything. And it could be family cookouts, church moments, because I shared mine about about not being able to identify your family's food. So what would be like a family cookout moment for you, a church moment, school rules, or Black mom sayings that sharing story that you can share as I try to get Cooper.
I was gonna say Cooper over there making noise like he got a whole room over there. But I will say sidebar before I jump in is I know that you were talking about the weather is only 50 degrees, but I see you over there glowing in that sun.
Thank you.
Yeah, I see it all in your face and your eye, even over your right shoulder.
It's
on the
coming
back of
through.
the wall.
It's coming through.
Yeah.
Thank
Look,
you.
Look, it's mean mug dark outside over here.
You know, it sets over there first. It rises over there and it sets first.
Yeah. But no, you were talking about saying. So one of the first things I thought about was, when you hear your mama say, "Cause I said so." That was the one. I think that's the ultimate trigger for everybody. Is when you hear your mama say, "Because I said so." I remember getting to a certain age, maybe like between 10 and 12. It's like, well, no, that's a lie. Because at 10 and 12, I'd have had some deficiencies. But maybe like 14, 16, it's like, because I said so ain't enough. Like, no, we got to do a little bit more. You got to cite your source. According to, Miss Walton class, they say if it happens, then it must be, cited as the source. And saying
Yeah.
that would be a big one, is because I said so. But the story that I was really that hit is just with dealing with graduations. And I'm going to throw it out there because I just came back from a graduation in Indiana. High school graduation, you just never know how the graduation's going to go. It doesn't matter really the community because I had an opportunity to be in different communities where it was predominantly Black, predominantly white, predominantly Hispanic communities. Our people are graduating.
Yeah.
From that standpoint, it's funny. One of the first things that stands out is here we are at graduation, and they say, as we're going to announce all of the graduates, and please hold your applause to the end. Well, we know,
Not us.
we know those brown and Black folks riding around there. That rule is broken from the beginning. However, there was other people too. They got foghorns and it was crazy. But of course, the first people that broke the rule, they kind of looked like me. And then they were like, they really belted out, some sound or whatever. And all of a sudden you could hear the crowd go, oh. I said it aloud. Now you knew it was not gonna stay silent the whole time.
No.
You know, and then a couple people like kind of chuckled around, but another thing that happens, at a black graduation, pictures, that's a big thing. It's a whole thing when you're taking pictures with my people.
Yeah.
Make sure it's this. Make sure that, oh, let me see how that picture, and you didn't take the picture. You're the last person to stand up for the picture. And then you want to see the picture, and you may even ask for a request for a retake. Wrong guy. I think I'm gonna miss this picture. I'll be. Look, I'm one of those 1, 2, 3 snaps. 1, 2, 3 snaps. 1, 2, 3 snaps.
We know you love the candid. Yes.
One of them are going to work. I promise you. I mean, we may even have 19 of them. If you don't have 1 in 19, then damn it, it wasn't your time to take the picture. And then I would say, the third and final thing about a black graduation. Look, as I go on a rant about it. The third and final thing about a black graduation is, no, I ain't gonna add that one. It's a laundry list, because it's us, it is the build up, but the third and final is the open house. I always say, hey, if you're going to come to the open house, make sure you're bringing something to the open house, whether it's going to be $5 for the graduate, and I think $5 in today's time is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Just throwing it out there. They didn't do whatever they want. Even if they had kindergarten open house, that $5 is not enough, okay? Times are tough, but, and they learned a lot. But you got to bring something, and make sure it's approved. And what I mean by approved as in food. You mentioned it earlier, you don't want everybody's food. So make sure the food that you bring at the open house is approved. We don't want no gumpy potato salad. We don't want something that you decided to throw together because last minute it was such and such open house. No. That was you wasted time. You could have came early to clean up or stayed late to clean up. You know what I'm saying? So those would be my 3. If you ask me. My little rant, but yeah, graduation is, it's fresh in my mind. It's fresh in my mind now. So, but yeah, yeah.
Shout out to Mr. Kuran back in the day, because he was getting the invites from everybody, and I think it really crushed us back then. In the early 2000s when we received $5 from him. But now I understood, like when I started working with young people and I kept getting those invitations, I was like, ain't no damn way I'm finna give everybody $20. There's no way. So I understood him.
You don't show up.
Okay, so I didn't think about it that way, but I was like, okay, I understood why he was giving out $5 because he was getting at least 100 invites. At least 100.
$500.
At least.
$500. He's short on a bill, and you giving him a side out.
Yes.
He might not up and get you anything.
At least, and I was like, I'm over here like, at mine. At least he's gonna see former students, cause my sister and my brother, like at least my brother was his favorite, of course. Mm-mm. But now I'm just like, yeah, you ain't gotta give me no invite. You don't. If I haven't talked to this kid in the last 5 years, congratulations.
Yeah, well, even less than that. I mean, I don't have to go.
I'm not saying go. I'm just saying I just have that congratulations for social media. That's all I got.
Well, that's tight. Tell you that's tight. Look, you copied and pasted that.
I AI'd it. Because, AI will populate your responses now. Like, oh, yay, click. Yep, that's what I want. Just turn the little hands brown.
Yeah, I ain't going. I ain't going. I'll say it this way. I'm not going because I was there in the trenches. So it's time for somebody else. I'm giving my spot up.
Okay. I'm not. Because, I will keep going with that one because I get it.
I'm giving
Trust me. I get it. Okay. This is our rapid fire. This or that.
Or you can do this, or you can do that.
That.
Or you can do this.
Do that.
Okay. All right. Let's make
You
it
can
show
do
us.
this, but this is where it's at. Okay. So you have it pulled up for yourself as well, right?
No.
No, okay. So I'm gonna just throw it at you then. Sweet potato pie or peach cobbler?
Now, that is very unique of a question. Now, are you talking about sweet potato pie or pumpkin pie?
No, I said sweet potato pie or peach cobbler.
Do you like sweet potato pie?
I love both, so that's why I'm asking
What
you.
about pumpkin pie? No,
Did I say pumpkin pie? I said sweet potato pie.
No, I'm gonna go with peach cobbler, actually. And the reason why I'm gonna go with peach cobbler is because everybody can't do sweet potato pie. And then there's a difference between sweet potato pie and pumpkin pie. There's a difference between pumpkin pie and, whatever the other pie is. So I'm going to go with the peach cobbler. I think that it's a little more flavor. I'm going to go with peaches. We don't get them as often. So I'm going to go with the peach cobbler.
So are you more peach or more crust? More peaches or more crust?
See, I'm not a big crust guy. Like, I don't like toast and stuff like that. Like, I'm not a crouton guy. So I don't need no toasted bread and, the crust. Even when it comes to, like, pizza, I don't really eat. I just started as I turned into a grown man, I guess. I started eating, like, the end of the pizza.
The crust?
The crust. I never really ate a crust. When we were in school, like little kids, I never ate the crust. Never. Yeah, it was just too hard. I didn't like toast. Yeah, I don't even like French toast. It's too heavy and it's too much of a filler. So, yeah. So I'm gonna go with peach cobbler.
Okay.
And peaches because they so sweet, So yeah. Now give me that peach cobbler. How about you?
I couldn't pick between the two. I think sweet potato pie for me is seasonal. Like I feel like I want to have sweet potato pie during the holidays, whereas peach cobbler I can have that year round.
I haven't had, and it's crazy that you mentioned, I haven't had peach cobbler in forever. But it's nothing worse than thinking that you're going to get a sweet potato pie and it don't taste like it. The worst. Now, at least I know with a peach cobbler, it's going to be either super sweet, super duper sweet, or super duper duper sweet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With those other ones, like, they can mess up their ingredients. Even when you have a regular sweet potatoes, and for the holiday season, somebody be like, well, you want them yams? You're like, here we go, Now we playing. Are we having a yam potato pie?
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you a church fan or folding bulletin?
That's funny that you mentioned that because I'm actually going to go to my trusty backpack that's actually just sitting here.
Backpack.
I just came from Indiana and I fold them bulletins, boys. I do. I fold my little bulletin. This is a graduation ceremony commencement thing. But obviously I fold mine up and put it in my little. Yeah, I just gonna throw it out there. People with these fans and popping them with dance. See, here we go. Yeah, there we go. I'm not on that trend. This is like it's like when I was a kid and they had the Macarena. I'm not doing this. Hey, Macarena.
Yeah, all right.
Nah, I'm good. I'm gonna let y'all have. Thank you. I'm gonna let y'all have y'all 5 years and go about your business. Let you have your 5 years. Go about your business. Yeah.
Cooper doesn't like the fan either.
I don't blame him. Cooper's over that fan. Look at it. It just comes out of the blue. It's so loud.
I love my fan and I love my tambourine, and he can't stand either one of them.
I didn't, I have a love-hate relationship with the church fan because as a kid, when you play with that church fan so long, next thing you know, you then took that little,
Oh, the stick
staple.
part.
You took that staple off that wood, and somebody's gonna put some wood on you for tearing up the church fan.
That's true. But it was usually as one lady I used to work with, the advertisement, which I was like, what? The advertisement for the funeral homes.
Funeral homes, yep.
Yeah, so that's how I learned. Like, oh,
I mean, that's smart. I mean,
yeah.
what's one thing you need at the funeral home? A fan. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it makes sense.
So yeah, I'm a fan. Oh no! Did I break it?
Then set the fan on fire.
All right, I've got more. I've got more. Okay, the last one is.
I'm guessing you the church fan, huh?
Heck yeah, you better know it.
Okay, all right.
I mean, I am always now the bulletin. No, folding the bulletin, but the obituary. I'm gonna make sure I have my fan, my tambourine, and the obit if I'm going to a funeral. I gotta get something.
Not and the obit.
I gotta be able to read along when whoever is reading, who possibly cannot read the obituary, so I can just be like, yeah, they messed up on this part. Cooper, please.
Mm-mm.
So yeah,
Cooper want that attention today.
He does. He didn't go to daycare today, so that's a whole nother story. That's my fault. Okay. Your cookout playlist essential.
Okay.
Are you rocking with? And this is just the two options that are up there, but you can definitely add your own. Frankie Beverly or Luther.
I'm gonna go with Luther. Frankie Beverly is a little older of a group than for my age bracket, so that would be a whole they were playing Frankie Beverly when I was 2 and 3 and 4, and I didn't really know. You know what I mean? Luther kind of grew up during that whole era when I was growing up. His songs were. I remember being taken to my aunt who was babysitting me. Remember we used to have to sit in a car seat and they would have a sheet over your head? That's how young I was, and I remember listening to Luther and Freddie Jackson and, those individuals during that era, 'cause, 80s baby. But Frankie Beverly and them, I mean, they're classics, don't get me wrong, all respect to them. But I'm going to go with Luther. There's another one that's here recently that has jumped on the scene. Listen, I think it's not Cheryl Lynn, but it's anyway. I'll let you go while I find it real quick.
Okay.
Yep.
It's funny that you said Luther because I know that we quote Luther quite a bit, especially that we have even tried to incorporate it in a lot of the things that we do, but whenever we hear, well, all right, we automatically think of House Party.
Oh, yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
I mean, Luther was our era, and then on top of that, even watching the whole Luther documentary and learning like the story that they're choosing to tell about why he left Western Michigan University, that I'm just like, wow, I love Luther even more.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, I love, like, Frankie Beverly is a legend. Like, unfortunately, both of them are now ancestors. But, yeah, Luther is going to get me up out of my seat every time.
Yeah, I mean, just the way that he would just go on one of those rants.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, and the other person I did look up, it was Cheryl Lynn. Like,
oh, Encore!
That's a song that now, 10 years ago, I didn't really hear Encore like that. And all of a sudden, Encore just came out of the blue.
Encore has been on my playlist. Why are you here? On my playlist for, I want to say, since college.
Wow.
Yeah, I was including your love so good deserves an encore. I mean, I probably shouldn't have been singing it, but it was.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about.
It's a jam.
But she also had that song with. She also had that song with Luther. Isn't that she had the song "If This World Was Mine"? That's her and Luther.
No way.
Isn't that Cheryl Lynn?
Let me see. As this boy is, please.
That's Cheryl Lynn.
What do you want?
Look, my dog looking at me like, we having one of those? Do I need to say something?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah, Cheryl Lynn. Small
Do,
world.
do, do, do.
She been around for a while. She just didn't have the title.
No.
Because she was disco. That era kind of, it fizzled out.
Yeah. 1982. Wow. Okay, Cheryl.
Yeah.
What? Okay. I love it. Okay. That was a good one. Okay. So, Foolishness Files.
What's good with the foolishness?
One ridiculous yet very black moment that happened to you or someone you know.
One ridiculous yet very funny black moment. Sticking with the theme of tonight with food is, when somebody come with that wrong dish, man. I mean, you can come with the wrong dish. You can come with no dish. You can come with too much salt in your dish. Like, it can just go all, look.
It can.
If you don't know what you're doing, just stay away. And you can always beg pardon with bringing sodas and drinks. I'm just saying, like, don't mess with the dishes. Someone, I'm going to try this one. And look, they say, don't try the thing that you thought about last night to do this morning. Because you mess up, there's good luck. Because somebody's going to clown you. You cannot have your feelings on your shoulders.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you went with food because I had two things that I thought about. There's one thing when, it's happened to me at work, but it happened to me on Tuesday at the dentist's office. I'm walking out with the hygienist, and there was another hygienist walking by me, and she used to clean my teeth, which I'm kind of glad that she's not cleaning my teeth anymore. But we were walking and passing, so we kind of did like the... And then the person behind her, I was like, hey! It was the black girl. Hey! Like, oh, y'all know each other? Yeah, like we know each other. We over here doing and everybody around us is looking confused.
Not the color purple.
We totally did it. And she was like, I need to call you. We need to catch up. I was like, we totally do.
That's hilarious.
And then we just walked off, and no one else asked us like a question, like, how do you know her? Because, it's usually like, oh, you really know each other. Like, clearly you saw that we know each other. Right. But that was really like the black girl, like, I'm so happy to see you here, girl. Hey, look at us both getting our teeth cleaned. So that was one thing. The other thing is, I know. This wouldn't even ruin a friendship because I tell him to his face all the time. We do have one friend named Terrell.
Oh,
and
boy.
Terrell loves to have a grill or a cookout. Like I can remember going to Walmart before midnight to pick up a grill or an air conditioner because, he was like, hey, it's the weekend, we're going to grill. I can remember the first cookout. This is when he was a single man. Cookout at his apartment. And I showed up, because I'm fashionably late. I'm always fashionably late.
I'm glad you said it.
I'm always fashionably late, And so I pull up with my shrimp. If you hear shrimp, that's expensive. Shrimp pasta.
Oh, were they prawns?
No. Don't you start that tonight. No. Jumbo shrimp. Pasta.
Okay.
And I pull up and the barbecue. I was like, "Where's the barbecue? Like, where's the meat? Where's the chicken?" Terrell was like, "Well, I bought 2 packs of chicken."
For how many people?
I said, "It's like." I said, "It's at least like 10 people over here, so." And most of them is guys, so you know they gonna eat. So
Yeah.
you mean to tell me that you probably spent $10 on these 2 packs of chicken legs, 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 legs. I spent about $40 preparing all the ingredients for this pasta. But you mean to tell me that when I pull up ain't no barbecue left? So in that moment we had to have a sit down with his ass and say like, "Hey, you need to factor in this apart." And then so also when you think about barbecue and make sure there's enough freaking meat there to feed your guests, or just don't have a bar, or just say, "You know what, bring your own meat," which is still ghetto. Bring your own meat
And then I'll
to the
barbecue.
cookout, and we'll just use your grill. Just say that. Just say that. When I tell you to this day he can't live that shit down, he can't. He can and he won't.
But that, that's a learning part
No, no, because we know Terrell has been cheating all of this. And I've been trying to raise this man for a while. So when I told she's now his wife, I said, "So when it comes to these cookouts, you are now the manager of these cookouts." She said, "I will make sure that there's enough meat." I said, "Thank you. That's all I ask. That's all I ask, because I can't get through to him." But
yeah, that's mandatory. If you're gonna barbecue, you gotta make sure the meat is right.
I mean, sides, that's always a toss up. But the meat, we got to have something to stick to us. Because we're going to what? The drinks are going to be flowing.
Correct. Correct.
And that's all I got to say about that.
It says, oh, no, it's your turn.
I just did. I just went. Okay.
It ain't my turn, is it, though?
I don't know. Okay, so.
I ain't want to overtalk.
No, but so that was my ridiculous yet very black moment that happened to me. It wasn't somebody I know. That happened to me twice. So that was once was this week at the dentist, and then the other one was whenever our dear friend has a cookout. I have to make sure you have enough meat.
Yeah, it's just with your people. So, that's, well, just with the ridiculous moment, I think as I've kind of, gotten a little bit older, because, one of the things that you mentioned is it's got to have some kind of structure at these cookouts, man. I don't want us to have to go to the store 7 times during this cookout this day. Now, mind you, when I first was doing it, 18, 19, 21, 22, yeah. Run, do this, cool, thank you. But you know what? I was building relationships. I'm way too grown now to be asking somebody to go to the store for you for the 3rd time, and it's your cookout. No. We couldn't organize this the day before.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We didn't know what we wanted to do. Or, if somebody want me to participate in a cookout, I don't want to be a part of the planning the night before. Because the night before, specifically, we probably hanging out the night before, so everybody's going to be a little bit late. So, no. As someone that likes to barbecue, that takes away. Here it is, I'm out here fighting the mosquitoes at night, and everybody's partying.
That's true.
Not having fun. So yeah, give me a little schedule. Now I may not even like a regular schedule in a regular day, But my cookouts, let's kind of schedule it out so we can at least have some fun.
Yeah, because even when you cooked out at my crib that time, you were over here early because I know we had went to go get the meat, I think, the day before.
Because you got to season the meat, clean the meat.
You were like, no, I know what I'm doing. I got it. We gonna start it now. We gonna be grilling for a while, and then we just gonna entertain. I was like, oh my gosh, teach me something. 'Cause clearly,
grilling you can start, but now all of a sudden now you gotta you and the Coles, y'all gotta have y'all own thing, but then you trying to entertain, and it's a thing. It's a thing.
Yeah.
I when going to Indiana this past week, I ended up barbecuing 3 times, 3 days, back to back to back. So yeah, it's crazy. You get kind of in your routine. Then I came home and barbecued the next day because I was in the mode. So
I can't tell you the last time I've had your barbecue.
Well, we gotta make it happen here soon. This is cookout season.
I mean, clearly it's been a while.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe now I'm hungry now.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So we want all of you that are listening to this episode, we want you to be able to submit your own Tell Me You're Black Without Telling Me You're Black stories.
Yeah.
We love those. We love hearing from you. As you all know that we have been doing the lives on Facebook, which have been very entertaining. We've been kind of talking about like our own childhoods, because we have to think about when it comes to like our social media, a lot of our social media is coming from like our childhood friends from college, so people that personally know us. But when we're engaging with you when it comes to the podcast, like, we want to know more about you too. Like, we don't want you to just hear our stories, we want to hear more about you too. So be sure to submit those. We do have an email. It's please do tell podcast, all one word, all together, at gmail.com. Again, it's please do tell podcast at gmail.com. So definitely submit those stories if you want to submit them on social media. I am Ronnika, RONNIKA .Williams on all social media. We also have a please do tell page. And then Jeffrey, you can tell us where to find you.
I am at Mr. Fantastic, MrFantastic World. You can find me on Instagram. Just DM me if you want to share something, share stories. We can go back and forth from there. If you want to be a part of, or you just want to give us a shout out, we accept those too.
Yeah, we love when you all leave us comments, when you rate the show, when you share with a friend. The big thing is also sharing with your friends, because we want to have more people in this community, especially those that love stories, especially love black stories, because clearly we black and we know about the black experience. So a lot of these stories you can identify with, but we also have friends that are not black that also love the black experience, which we love interacting with as well. Yeah, we teach them things. Yeah, it's like all about education and resource. It's just a good old time. So if you are just looking to engage with a very cool community, we are where it's at. So yeah, did you have any updates, any news to share? Again, I told you this is like the best time of year for me, because we're heading into Black Music Month, and there's a whole challenge that I love to participate in on Instagram, but that's really all I have coming up right now.
We still don't support Target personally, so I just want to throw that out there. Just told me, Target, you've done enough. It's over. Look. We are going into wedding season, graduation season. Congratulations to all the graduates. Congratulations to all of the families that are becoming abundant. Again, make sure that you reach out to us. Please do tell podcast. I am at Mr. Fantastic World Jeffrey, and
I am Ronnika, RONNIKA .Williams. You can find me any and everywhere. But until then, we will see you on the next episode as we are closing out this one, and we hope to see you on a live or even our Patreon very soon. All right, closing out, y'all.